Hi.
Oh my gosh, guys, how are you? Thanks for doing this.
You
Thanks for
bet.
having
Thank you.
us.
It's kind of amazing because obviously, Sean, I followed your career for quite a long time growing up with you, and my first name is Sean as well. Not that that means anything. But this might be the first time I've actually sat down with you. And Dylan, I know it's the first time meeting you.
hmm
So let's get right to the movie. The catalyst behind this is based on a true story. Sean, why did this movie grab you?
It was the story, a true story that had been based on the memoir by Jennifer Vogel called Flim Flam Man. I first was introduced to through the screenplay, the adaptation that Jez Butterworth did, which is Flag Day, and certainly the subject was stirring to me, but there was something on this one that also mostly had so much to do with. By about page 30,
Mhm.
Dylan's face was imprinted to me on this character. And it became the reason that the movie didn't get made for so long because I couldn't get her interested in doing it for a long time.
Really?
And yeah, and then after I had to release myself from it to let them, or rather release them from me to go find someone to make the movie, because I couldn't see doing it without her. Once I read it and felt that she was the one for this role. But just, good fortune was that it came back around, and it came back around at a time where she was ready to consider it.
So Dylan, why were you not into it? Was it something about working with dad? Was it just you didn't see yourself in the part? What was going on?
No, I mean, he came to me when I was about 16. I had read the book and I loved the book, but I never wanted to act. That was just not something I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the industry, but I always pictured myself behind the camera, whether it was writing, directing, producing. And I've said this many times, but I really thought that acting was a ridiculous career, honestly. And so that's why I said no in the beginning. And then because I expressed wanting to direct like 18 or something, both of my parents on separate occasions said that I should not step foot on a set as a director unless I know what it's like to act.
Right.
So that's originally what got me into it. And then when this came back around, I felt like, okay, I'm 30 now, so this is 15 years later, almost. And I just felt like, what an amazing role. Like how I don't really know how I can pass this up at this point. And I think just having my own life experience to reference to make Jennifer relatable to me.
It's so funny. You talk about how you thought acting was kind of ridiculous in the trailer to the movie, which, by the way, looks really, really good. That's all we've seen so far. Yeah. In the trailer, you ask, Sean's character, you go, "What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?" And I almost think, like, did you ask him that when you were a kid? Like, what do you do for a living, Dad?
I don't know if I asked. I think I just, because my brother and I grew up around set with both parents. And it's not, and I want to be clear, like, I never thought, I know that they're amazing at their craft.
Of course.
I just thought it was just silly. I have enormous respect for actors now that I've done it. But no, I think I just, I didn't grow up in Los Angeles. So I think there's a different, growing up in Northern California, there wasn't a focus on like the celebrity of being an actor. That just wasn't interesting to people. So I think I had a different view on what they did.
No, that makes sense.
Were you able, both of you on set, do you separate the fact of being family when it comes to work? Or I would think that could also enhance the performance and enhance your time on set together.
Well, I think I do think that with this and with Dylan and I, that that the part of it that comes without any proactivity about it, that is that we have all of this history together, gives it a lot, and gave us a kind of a shorthand between the personalities of each of our intuitions, sort of, and there were, while the movie is about a pretty heavy subject, there were a lot of times where there was a kind of lightness and humor between between John and Jennifer, and those things were so. I think it was magnified the fun that we had at that, in making it. But in terms of a formal separating of, about setting clear articulated boundaries between the professional and the personal or the family aspect of it, I think that a lot of that just happened on its own.
So you talk about that separation, how it kind of happened on its own. Dylan, did Dad have a better trailer than you?
No,
No.
no. Did you even? He didn't have a trailer.
Look at you, dude. Not even a trailer. Who are you?
This is,
Well,
independent film.
Independent film, and also between acting and directing, I had to be on set as much as
All
possible.
the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an incredible challenge. It's funny when I look back over the years, and I don't know, Sean, what your favorite movie to do, and I'm sure it's kind of a trite question you've been asked many times, but maybe you do have an answer. When I watch Mystic River, to me, you and Mystic River, that acting, I mean, I can go to Harvey Milk and stuff too, but Mystic River, you are so intense, you are so good. And I'm a kid that grew up in the Boston area. God, dude, you just nail it,
Well, thank you. That was a great experience. A great experience in part because the group of actors that came together. They were, all of a similar generation. All of us had known each other from the audition halls of our youth, and all, since had kids and built careers. The egos were, useless by then.
Right.
We'd run the tread off those tires, and so it was just a smooth ride.
Can we jump to Core for a second? Because I'm really proud of what you're doing with that. We would go down to Dodger Stadium when the pandemic first hit, and we get tested down there. I think it was like once a week. And Core made it so easy to drive in, get tested, and stay up to speed. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, it was a lot of that is a tribute to the will to serve of so many Angelians, and in the other places that we've worked, we had to mobilize a team of what became approximately 3,000 people in terms of all our sites nationwide.
Right.
From what had been in continental U.S. 7 employees, and all of that was in a 11-month period. But it was really extraordinary to see these mostly young people coming in and getting trained, and then the clear leadership that was built on, and it was a living model for me to witness what's possible.
Yeah.
When people get unified on something.
Right. Well, I love the coming together for that, obviously for COVID, but also, helping out in New Orleans, helping out in Haiti, making a difference all over. Dylan, did Dad kind of instill that in you when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think growing up around that, yes, I think it's just inherent
Right.
when that's your environment. But I think just as a, civilian who's able-bodied, it's your job to serve wherever you can. And especially right now, I think, with the privilege that I have, it's just your job.
It's funny, I've got a 13-year-old son, and before we send him off to school, I've just got 4 words that we say to him. Obviously, my wife says now because I'm doing a morning radio show. But we've always said, be good and do good. That's it. That's the mantra we give him on a daily basis.
Mm.
Good to be clear and simple. Kind
of funny, Sean. Very simple. Keep it simple, Valentine. Very simple.
No, the reason I said that was just because it occurs to me, if only when it comes to messaging about COVID, about vaccines, about all of it, if only it had been clear and simple, the genie wouldn't have gotten out of the bottle in terms of all this identity politics and distraction that people are now allured by. And so, yes, I think that, and with parents to children, make it clear and simple.
Okay, I thought you had listened to my radio show and thought my simplistic views on life might actually be something to poke fun at.
No, that was not what I was saying.
There is a new documentary though on Discovery Plus about the origins of core and everything. It's called Citizen Penn and it's on Discovery Plus.
Oh,
right
that's
now.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Congrats on the movie. I know it's going to be a great success, and it was really nice to see both of you today. Really appreciate it.
Nice to see
You
you
too.
both too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Take care.